learning this lesson. We'll be learning more about mudari'. So before we go, we're going to revise our pronouns, which is huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. This is the 14 pronoun sequence, and we're going to follow all the madi and mudari' fi'ls according to this sequence. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. So going forward, inshallah, so we're going to do a fi'l, darasa. Darasa means he studied. In the past tense, he studied. So darasa, darasu, darasat, darasata, darasna, darasta, darastuma, darastum, darasti, darastuma, darastunna, darastu, darasna. So he studied, they both studied, they all studied. Wow represents whom? She studied, they both females studied, all those women studied. You studied, male, darastuma, you both male studied, darastum, all of you male studied, darasti, female studied, darastuma, female, two females studied, darastunna, all of you females, you studied, darastu, I studied, and darasna, we studied. So how do we do mudari'? Darasa is bab nasara. So darasa yadrusu, nasara yansuru. So yadrusu, he studies. So it is a present tense. So he's not finished the action. So he's still doing the action. So yadrusani, they both studies. Yadrusuna, tadrusu, she studies. Tadrusani, both of those female studies. And yadrusna, hunna, yadrusna, all of those women, they study. Tadrusu, you study. Tadrusani, you both study. Tadrusuna, you all study. Tadrusina, you study. Tadrusani, you both female study. Tadrusna, all of you female, you study or you're studying. Adrusu, I study. Nadrusu, we study. So let's see what else. We're going to another example. So we'll do sakana. Sakana means he lived. So sakana, sakana, sakanu, sakanat, sakanata, sakanna, sakanta, sakantuma, sakantum, sakanti, sakantuma, sakantunna, sakantu, sakanna. Sakana is bab nasara again. Sakana yaskunu. Yaskunu, yaskunani, yaskununa, they all living. Wow represents whom? Taskunu, she lives. Taskunani, they both female lives. Yaskunna. Yaskunna is all those women, they live. Taskunu, taskunani, taskununa, taskununa. Wow represents antum here. So the wow represents different and different situations. Taskunina, you female, you live. Taskunani, taskunna. Taskunna is all of you female in front of you. You study, you live, right? Askunu, I live, and naskunu, we live. So these are the two fi'ls. So we're just going to do some practice. So if you just say quickly 5 in your pocket, so it'll be yaskunu, taskunu, taskunu, askunu, naskunu. So what is the significance here? Here the fa'il is mustatir, that means it is not attached to the fa'il. The fa'il ends at noon, that is the part of that's a lam kalima. So after lam kalima, there is no fa'il attached. You know, fa'il and fa'il, the fa'il always comes after the fa'il, so not before. So this ya, ta, a, and na is the alamatu mudari'. So we need to know that, inshallah. And then We know that the fa'il can be marfu, mansub and majzoom. So here the alamatu marfu is damma, and then you have another category where which is noon aata hai and noon jata hai. So noon aata hai, noon jata hai, that means is afwalul khamsa, where noon represents a sign of marfu, and if when it is present, so we say fa'lu mudari'um marfu'um bi subuti noon. So the presence of noon. And if the noon is not there, we'll say fa'lum mansubun bi hadafi noon. So if it is, noon is dropped. So yaskunani, yaskununa, taskunani, taskunani, taskununa, taskunani. And then we have our mabni. So here it doesn't change into marfu, mansub or majzoom, and this noon is the fa'il. So this noon is the fa'il, and in here afwal khamsa, the fa'il is alif musanna, waw represent, if it is yaskununa, waw represents hum, if it is taskununa, waw represents antum. So these are the different ways we need to understand. So just do some practice again. So if I say huwa, you can say either yadrusu or yaskunu. So any fa'il you can bring. So huwa, here will be taskunu or tadrusu. Anta is in front of you, anta. So it will be taskunu. So depending on what the sentence is talking, so we will know which is the represents whom. It is hiya or anta. Ana askunu, nahnu naskunu or nadrusu. So if this is antum in front of you, so if you people in front of you will say taskununa, taskununa. We have ta alamatu mudariya and waw represents antum. So this is hunna. Hunna will be yaskunna. Hunna, third person. So in front of you, antunna will be taskunna. So hunna will be yaskunna, antunna will be taskunna. Hum will be yaskununa. Waw represents hum. Hum yaskununa or yadrusuna, yaktubuna, whichever you can take any file. So anti will be taskunina or tadrusina. Huma, they both. So telling third person huma, it will be yaskunani. Ya and alif musanna. Alif is the fa'il. Antuma, you both in front of you will be taskunani. Taskunani. And they both female. Again, depending on the sentence, it will be same. Taskunani. And in front of you again, it will be taskunani. So depending who are we talking about, whether two males in front of you or third person, two women or two women in front of us, depending on those, our fa'il will change. So we have to understand, inshallah. So let's go to our main lesson. So we're doing ad-darsul hadiya ashra. So it is lesson number 11. Ahda ashra is 11. Hadiya is ordinal number. So it is 11th lesson. So fil hafila. So it is a scene described by Dr. Abdul Rahim in a bus. So hafila means bus. So there are a group of people sitting in the bus and it's discussion between two persons. So let's bring the first. So al-awwalu, the first person says assalamu alaikum, and al-thani, the second person, he says wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So the second person says ismi abdullah. So what is ismi? Ismu is your mubtada wa huwa mudaf ya mutakallim mudaf ilayhi. My name is. So what is your name? The abdu is your khabar and Allah is your mudaf ilayhi, the word Allah. So ismi Abdullahi. So the second person is Abdullahi. Wa masmuka. So again, ma is particle of question, harfa istifham, and because there is hamzatul wasl, that alif is not pronounced. So masmuka, what is your name? So So the first person he says, Ismi Faisalu. So Faisalun. Atalibun anta ya Abdallahi. So we know he's saying, are you a student? Ya Abdallahi. So ya when it comes, so Abdu will becomes Abda because it is combination of Mudaf Mudaf ilayhi. So now we have two people here, Abdullahi and Faisal. So now Faisal, Abdullahi says, so Faisal is asking Abdullahi, Atalibun anta, are you a student? Ya Abdullah. So Abdullah says, Naam. So then Faisal asked, so Aina tadrusu. You see, tadrusu. What is tadrusu? Fa'ilun mudariun marfu'um bi damma. So it is marfu with the sign of damma. And Aina fa'il, where is the fa'il? Is mustatir because it's not attached to the fa'il. So we say mustatir taqdiruhu. So what is the estimation? Because he is in front of it is anta. Taqdiruhu anta. Aina tadrusu. So where do you study? So if it is past tense, Aina darasta. Where did you study? So the translation is also very important. So where did you study and where do you study? So Aina tadrusu ya akhi. Where do you study, oh my brother? So now Abdullah says adrusu. So actually, so when I study. So again, فعل مضارع مرفوع بضمة. So I study بالجامعة الرياض in University of Riyadh. So for instance, في أي كلية تدرس. So you know أي comes as a special مضاف because there is harf jar في, so it becomes في أي. So in which. So when always after أي they will have مضاف إليه كلية. في أي كلية تدرس. So again تدرس means in front of you, male, depending on the scenario. So in which university do you study? It says أدرس. I study. Again فعل مضارع مرفوع بضمة. So it's مرفوع form. So in this lesson we'll be doing only مرفوع form. So we'll try to identify which is مرفوع and منصوب. So أدرس في كلية الهندسة. So in faculty, kulliya means faculty, handasata means engineering. So muhandis is engineer, handasata is engineering. So in the faculty of engineering. So he asks again, Faisal, fi ayyi. So again we got ayyu because of harf jar becomes ayyi. Ayyi is ism majrur wa huwa mudaf and sanatin. So sanatin is your mudaf ilahi. So in which year tadrusu you study? So in which year do you study? Because the question, so we ask you, which year do you study? So Abdullah replies, Adrusu. I study. Ana Adrusu. I study fi sanati thaniya. In second year. I study in second year. So Faisal said, oh, Ata'arifu anta Ata'arifu al-muhandisal Salmana. So again here what do we get? We got Arafa Ya'arifu. So it is Bab Daraba Yadribu. So Ya'arifu, Ta'arifu, Ta'arifu, A'arifu, Na'arifu. So Ana A'arifu. Anta Ta'arifu. So this A is Harfu Istifham, Ta'arifu. Do you know? Arafa he knew and Ya'arifu he knows. So it's in, do you know? Al-Muhandisa. Al-Muhandisa is your Maf'ul bihi Mansoob. Salmana is your Badal. So, do you know the engineer Salman? Abdullah says Tab'an. So, what is Tab'an? Tab'an means definitely. So, when you have to confirm something, you say Tab'an. Yes, of course. Huwa Ustadi. He is my teacher. Huwa Ahsanu Mudarrisin. So, what is Ahsanu here? Because there is no min, so it is a Ismu Tafdeel. It is a superlative. He is the best teacher. Fi kulliyatin, in the department. So he is the best teacher in the department. For instance, Man haula'il fityatul ladhina ma'aka. So who are these young boys with you. Those are with you. So كأنهم. So كأنهم is it is as though. كأن we know من أخوات إن أن كأن ليس ليت لكن لعل. So كأن من أخوات إن, so we know it has a ism and khabar. Ism is mansoob and khabar is marfu. So whom is here ismu anna and ikhwatuka. So ikhwatu is your khabar وهو مضاف and ka is مضاف إليه. This is man هؤلاء الفتية. Who are these young men? Those are with you. So we know الذين ismu mawsula is always comes with silatul mawsul. So ma'aka is your silatul mawsul. كأنهم, it is as if they are ikhwatuka, your brothers. Ikhwatu, there is a khabar of ismu كأن. So Abdullah says نعم هؤلاء إخوتي. These are my brothers. إخوة وهو is your خبر وهو مضاف and يا متكلم مضاف إليه. These are my brothers. So لي أربعة إخوة وثلاث أخوات. So لي is your jar majur. So we know I have, in for relations we use li, and if it is any objects we say indi. So here it is relation he's telling arba'atu. So we know why it is arba'atu, because it ma'dud is muzakkar. So we have adad coming muannas. So with li I have 4 brothers and wa thalathu. It is the ma'dud, adad is muzakkar, because ma'dud is muannas. So I have 3 sisters, akhawatin, and 4 brothers. Going again, Faisal says, Aina yadrusu haulai. So where do they study? So see, yadrusu فعل مضارع مرفوع بالضمة. So how here we need to say where is the fa'il. So we know in huwa and hiya form the fa'il is mustatir, but it can be mawjood in the sentence or ghaib. So in other situations where it is anta, ana, nahnu, so then the fa'il is always mustatir, but huwa and hiya, so we have to look. So here, what is the fa'il? Fa'il is ha'ula'i, these. So how do you translate? So we know the fa'il comes first and then the fa'il. Where do these study? So we know whenever the fa'il comes, it has to come after the fa'il. So Abdullah says, Amma ikhwati. So we have to know what is this Amma. Yes, Amma is starting with Hamzatul Qata. So we have learned before Amma with Ain is about what? An plus Ma. So what is this Amma? Amma here means as for. It is a particle of condition. So we're going to do the conditional sentence in book 3. It's just a very brief like an introduction. So amma is like a particle of condition. So what's the speciality of amma is that after amma we always have a mubtada and we will have khabar. So after amma you are always, and it is for when you're mentioning about more than 2 things or more than 1 thing. So amma as for something and as for something, so you're gonna continue the sentence. So that after amma will always have mubtada and khabar. And what's the speciality of the khabar here is that it always comes with fa. So whenever you have amma, so the khabar begins with fa. So if you see here, amma ikhwati, ikhwatu is mubtada wa huwa mudaf and ya mutakallim is mudaf ilayhi. As for my brothers, fakulluhum. See, fa is your is coming because of amma, and it comes with attaches with the khabar. So kulluhum, all of them, yadrusuna bil jamia. So that's the introduction to amma today. So we're going to forward. So first is Aina yadrusu haula'i. Then we have a big answer here. So amma ikhwati. So amma, as for my brothers, fakulluhum. Fa is coming as a because of amma attached to the khabar. So kulluhum yadrusuna bil jami'ah. So all of them they study. So wow represents whom? Bil Jamia. Isa. So he is telling now, he's giving more explanation about all of them, all of his brothers. Ikhwati. Isa wa huwa akbaru minni, and he is bigger than me. So yadrusuna is the fa'al, and akbaru minni. So ismu taftil, here it is comparative because coming with min. So he is bigger than me. Minni. يدرس في كلية الطب. So يدرس فعل مضارع مرفوع بضمة. Here فاعل مستتر تقديره هو يدل على عيسى. That is how you explain. في كلية الطب, in faculty of medicine. وإبراهيم, and Ibrahim يدرس, he studies في كلية التجارة. وإسحاق, and إسحاق he studies يدرس في كلية الآداب. آداب means arts. في كلية التجارة means commerce. So Ibrahim studies in commerce, and Ishaq he studies in arts. وإسماعيل, and Ismail يدرس, and he studies في كلية العلوم. كلية العلوم means science, department of science. وهؤلاء ثلاثة, and these three. So we know haulai, after ismu ishara, it is badal. So it is badal. How do we say? These three. Haulai thalathatu asgharu minni. They are smaller than me. Saghirun, smaller. Asgharu minni is smaller than me. Wa amma. So again we got amma. Wa ammal akhawatu. So what is the mubtada here after amma is akhawatu is your mubtada. فَيَدْرُسْنَ. So fa comes because of amma, and yadrusna is your khabar. So it's jumlatul fa'iliya. Here yadrusna means they all study. Hunna. So fa'il is noon is the fa'il here. Yadrusna fil madrasatil mutawassitati. So now he describes all the sisters here. So they all study in middle school. Mutawassitati means middle, comes from the word wasata, middle. So Zainabu tadrusu. See here tadrusu is not anta, it is here. So depending on where it is coming. So talking about Zainab. So this tadrusu is. So how do we describe? فعل مضارع مرفوع بضمة فاعل مستتر تقديره هي في السنة الأولى, in first year. وسلمى تدرس في السنة الثانية. So Salma, she studies. So she studies or she is studying. You can say she studies in second. وَلَيْلَ تَدْرُسُ, and Layla studies في السنة الثالثة. So in third year. So this was the introduction to his brothers and to his sisters. So inshallah this brings us to end of this session today. So with the lesson number 11 still continues. So inshallah we're going to finish in our next session with some new concepts. So today we should the lesson is to identify what type of fa'al and fa'il, how to identify the marfu form of the fa'al, and we learned about amma. So that brings our end of the session inshallah, and we'll continue in our next class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.